Ever since the beginning of creation, man has looked up into the night sky. He has always been a curious, determined, and ambitious being to find out what really lies beyond our galaxy. Early astronomers used what knowledge they had to discover what was really out there in space. The early Babylonians. The Babylonians studied what was called astrology. From 1200 to 1000 BC, the Babylonians believed that the stars had affected the way humans acted. Then came along Alexander the Great in 332 BC. Alexander the Great builds the great building called the Great Museum Library Observatory, built by the beginning of the Nile River in Egypt. This place was built to study the stars. Indeed, early astronomers had to study stars with unusual kind of ways, but they still looked up to study what was out there in space. Here are some more beautiful pictures of what really awaits for us out there in space. It was the Greek astronomer Aristarchus who said this in 280 BC. The sun was not the center of the solar system. It would take another 1800 years later to prove him wrong. In the year 240 BC, it would be the astronomer Eratosthenes who would discover how big the planet Earth is. As one can see here, it was very important what the early astronomers did in the early days of this new science. We humans all could still be living in the Dark Ages, still believing the error that the Earth was the center of the solar system. But instead, more nations began to discover the truth. The Egyptians and Chinese became very involved with astronomy around the time of Christ's birth. It was the wise men from the east, China, who would use the star to guide them to the Christ child at his birth where he was born. The brightest star in the sky would lead the shepherds as well to the Christ child at the place where he was born. From the advent of Christ's birth came the Gregorian calendar. This calendar is still used today. So there were more events that continued to advance the human race in astronomy. It was Ptolemy who in 120 AD created the mechanics of how things worked in the solar system. The mechanics of the solar system. Again, the mechanics of how the mechanics of the solar system works. There would come three more well-known astronomers who would advance the things we know about space today. Nicholas Copernicus, German astronomer, born 19th February 1473, died 23rd May 1543 at the age of 70. Nicholas Copernicus used his Christian belief that the Earth was not the center of the solar system. Astronomer Johannes Kepler, born December 27, 1571, died November 15, 1630, at the age of 58. Astronomer Johannes Kepler created the Kepler's laws of planetary motion. Astronomer Isaac Newton, born 25th December 1642, died 20 March 1777 at the age of 84, English astronomer. Astronomer Isaac Newton discovered the three laws of motion. As one can see here, that if it wasn't for the discoveries of these past three astronomers, the human race very well could be still living in the Dark Ages. But the human race continued to advance onwards to the truth. Two more important scientists would bring about discoveries that would forever change the world of astronomy. Albert Einstein. Albert Einstein discovered E equals mc squared. This very equation forever changed how astronomers view our whole universe. At last, the final astronomer we will take note of is this one. Edward Hubble, born November 20th, 1889, died September 28th, 1953 at the age of 63. Astronomer Hubble had discovered that the Milky Way galaxy was not the middle of the universe. Hubble discovered that there were many galaxies throughout the universe. Well, it is time for a brief PSA or public service announcement from your local community television station. So, get yourself another warm cup of coffee or a pop from the fridge, and we will be right back with more of Beyond Our Galaxy.
There are many statistics in our lives, but they never matter until we become one. My only son became a statistic. Stand up and be counted to end the cycle of violence.
Log on to thepeacealliance.org to find out how you can get involved.
Welcome back to this part of the show called Beyond Our Galaxy. On this part of the show, we will now explore the subject of the telescope. The telescope as we know it today has enjoyed a 400-year history. The definition of the telescope is this: an instrument that aids in the observation of remote objects collecting light. The word telescope comes from the Greek word that in English is this: tele, far. The purpose of the refracting lens is to bend the light to help move it onto the focal point. In 1608, the refracting telescope was beginning to be invented. These three men are giving credit to inventing the lenses of the telescope. From Middelburg, Netherlands, Hans Lippersheg and Zacharias Janssen. The third man is Jacob Mathieu of Alkmaar. Astronomer Galileo Galilei. A year later, Galileo invents the refracting telescope in 1609. Here's a picture of Galileo's refracting telescope. The refracting telescope uses a parabolic type lens. The next picture shows how a parabolic lens works. This is how a refracting telescope works. In 1611, astronomer Kepler builds his 140-foot telescope. Astronomer Johannes Kepler. Kepler's 140-foot refracting telescope. Another popular refracting telescope today is the Yerkes Observatory at the University of Chicago in Illinois. It is the largest refracting telescope in the world. In 1897, the Yerkes Telescope and Observatory is built. The 40-inch refracting telescope at Yerkes. Note the size of the telescope compared to the man below it. Finally, in 1668, the reflecting telescope is invented. English astronomer Sir Isaac Newton invents the reflecting telescope. Here is a picture of Newton's reflecting telescope. Here's a picture of how the reflecting telescope works. Mount Wilson Observatory in Pasadena, California. Mount Wilson Observatory has a 60-inch reflecting telescope to search the night sky with. Here's a few pictures that Mount Wilson Observatory has taken since it was built. Here in the next few pictures are some of the many telescope observatories located throughout the world today. So relax in your easy chair and enjoy. As one can see here, that there are a lot of telescope observatories throughout the world. The science of astronomy is an interesting subject to talk about for both the amateur and the professional. There is another unique form of astronomy that was invented as well. It is called radio astronomy. It was invented by the American engineer Carl Jansky.
Greetings, this is Science Officer Spock, and currently there are no life forms available to take your call. But at the prearranged audio signal, please feel free to leave any verbal communication you feel is necessary. Live long and prosper.
We human beings wait and watch and listen to see and hear if there is any other life beyond our galaxy. Engineer Carl Jansky, American radio engineer, 1905 to 1950. And the next picture is Carl Jansky's first radio telescope. Radio telescopes are a directional radio with antennas. There are just as many radio astronomer telescopes as there are telescope observatories throughout the world. 27 dishes, 81 feet diameter, 270 tons on 100,000 acres of land, all shaped in a Y pattern. Located on the plains of San Agustin in Socorro County, New Mexico. And the next picture is a diagram of what makes up the radio telescope. Well, it is time now for another PSA. So get yourself another warm cup of coffee or a pop from the fridge, and we'll be right back with the rest of Beyond Our Galaxy.
Hey, I'm Ted from GRTV, and I'm here to make a show about how to put a show on GRTV. All you got to do is have a tape, or a DVD, or a flash drive with your video on it, and you bring it down here to GRTV. We're at 711 Bridge Street. It's the second floor of the Bridge Street Library. Come on up. All you got to do is grab a form here, GRTV application for Cablecast. I already filled this one out. It's got my name of the show, length of the show, all real basic stuff about the show. And then you want to read through this contract. It's got some basic legal obligation stuff. Sign and date at the bottom, and then you want to put your contact info so we can reach you, your phone number, your email address, your whatever you've got to fill out for that, and then fill out a little survey on the back. And all you got to do is bring it in, hand it in to Liz, and you're done. That's it. You're done, son.
Woo! You're done, son. I like that. I'm a dork. I like that. Okay, well, that was fun. Okay.
All right.
You think that was good?
I think that was good.
Welcome back to the rest of the show called Beyond Our Galaxy. '21st-century astronomers have been able to use a very special telescope. It is called the Hubble Space Telescope. This telescope was named after the astronomer Edward P. Hubble, an American astronomer, 1889 to 1953. Space Shuttle Discovery launches Hubble telescope into space. Launch date April 24th, 1980. Mission length of time 21 years, 3 months, 20 days. Type of orbit near circular to low end orbit. Here are some beautiful pictures Hubble has taken of our universe. The Hubble telescope is a robotic kind of telescope. This telescope can explore our universe without one thing affecting it. City light pollution. So, Hubble Space Telescope can explore the millions, billions, and zillions of stars that fill the vastness of our universe. We all remember that kindergarten tune about the stars that is performed by us in the next picture titled Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. Well, we can thank the Hubble Space Telescope for its long service to astronomers and the many pictures of stars it has taken for us to see and enjoy. The definition of a star is this: a big glowing ball of plasma that gravity holds together. So, when you look up into space at night to see all those millions, billions, and zillions of stars in the sky, you can watch and awe in the next few pictures of space and enjoy. One can see that with the help of our earlier astronomers since the beginning of this new science, Earthlings have learned a lot about the creation of the universe. But only time will tell what awaits the human race beyond our galaxy.